my question is, what part of sharing some of that responsibility would feel safe for you? I think you have to be in control because you feel like it's all up to you, like that you have to be the only one protecting. But what if you're not the only one protecting? Like, at what point can you not have to have your back up against a wall, but have your back with somebody that
Oh,
has your back?
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really, really great question. And I like that you bring awareness to it, and I like that you articulate it in that way. See, this is the beautiful thing about why I really love that you and I heal together and know each other well enough, because you know how to say things to me that I will hear in a way that will trigger things inside of me that I am working on or looking at, or do you know what I mean? You're really beautiful in that way. It's a real gift that you have. And so that statement of like not having to stand with my back up against a wall, but being able to stand with my back up against somebody else, somebody having my back. And then that being the thing that I can, rely upon. And the awareness of, it's not something that I feel like I've had awareness of ever really being able to experience. And I think about our relationship and maybe finally being at a place in our relationship where I feel like you actually have my back. And that you're going to be there no matter what. And that's something that I don't think I've experienced yet with anybody, kind of in any relationship. So I'm going to get real curious about what that would feel like.
Yeah.
And what that would look like. And I'm trying, I can see it now and see how I'm trying to, and I know that you can also, because I'm so fearful right now, this feels really vulnerable. I'm so afraid that you're hearing that I don't believe in you, that I don't think you're capable. I trust you. I believe in you. I feel safe with you. All of these things.
No, this isn't about me, babe.
Yeah. And, but it's like I said, it's just an interesting recognition or realization that I don't know if I've experienced that to be able to let that part of my guard down, because I knew that the person that was standing behind me got it. They've got it. So, and I feel that way about you. I feel that way about you 100%, where we're navigating life and going through all these things, and we've had enough lived experience of fun roller coaster shit shows that, the proof's in the pudding that when I turn around, you're there. And I'm grateful for that. And it's scary.
It's so scary.
Because that's the truth, I think, of what the big picture is. And then I also think that I might not have had awareness of this thing cognitively, meaning, I've never really felt safe with anybody, right? So I've always had to keep my back up against a wall. But I think the reality is the last few years of our relationship, I've been experiencing what it feels like to have you supporting me, to have you having my back. I just didn't have awareness of it. So I think in moments I'm still I'm glad that we've brought awareness to it so that I get to start feeling it and recognizing it and looking at it. But I do also think that it's like anything else where there's a part of me that didn't have it. And when that part gets triggered and sparked and needs to get some healing done, then it might manifest a little bit more prominently.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like a wound of just never feeling, safe and supported by anyone.
Right.
Yeah, having to do everything alone.
And that's going to take a lot of time. Because
it feels like a big one.
Well, it's not just being like, oh, you're safe now. You can let that guard down, and then stepping to like, no, when that part has been shown time and time and time and time and time again, to where it learned very clearly that it had to put its back up against the wall to be safe, where it learned that it had to blend in and stay under the radar to be safe. It's not going to take somebody just telling you and you just have to practice. It's going to take like that awareness and seeing where it is showing up, allowing you the space to put your back up against a wall, allowing you the space to kind of dictate what feels okay for you, what feels safe. So when you're ready, you can allow a little bit of your space out, maybe allow a shoulder out, allow a little bit of this, and have that new reinforcement shown. Like you can't just, okay, we're not going to do that anymore. It's going to take time. I got time. And there's no rush. You get to feel your way through it. Otherwise, you're just going to put up another wall and expose your back. It's not going to feel safe at all.
Because there's a part of these conversations that you and I get into that they're so metaphoric, right? We're constantly
it
using. It
makes sense to us.
It does. And I think it's a beautiful way to communicate. And I know that we're not the only ones that it makes sense to. I know that a lot of people use metaphor, especially in the space of healing and like, how do we contextualize this?
We're talking about literal and metaphorical walls.
It's this interesting dynamic that we love. I love it, right? I know you love it too, but when you apply this metaphor, this idea of like, do you feel like somebody has your back?
Yeah.
Like 100%. Do you know what I mean? Like no matter what. And then I know I've gone through periods of my life, because I'm thinking about when I was a cop, right? And during that time period, I'm like, oh yeah, 100%. Right? I could list off the guys. There wasn't a super long list, but there was a handful of guys, and where I'm talking like 100% when it really counted, when you really need somebody back there, do you have anybody? And I would have said yes. And I think it would have been applicable for the most part. Do you know what I mean? Like everything's always so literal in these moments for me. Right. You have this too. We've been talking about this lately. I'm not alone in this. You do this too.
I do too. I'm
constantly being like, it's both of us. It's not just me. You're also weird and crazy like I am.
We'll go back to our codependent episodes.
Oh, gosh.
I am weird. I have it too.
What was I saying? What was I joking about?
A handful of guys that you knew you could.
Right. And then... But the truth of it is, like, if I really thought about it, when I'm like now, as we're speaking about it, it's not just like in a life or death situation. If I'm in a gunfight, right?
Right.
It's all the different aspects of life, and the deeper aspects of life. Where do I feel safe to be seen completely?
Yeah.
Do I feel safe to be myself completely? Also, do I feel like even when I'm going through the darkest moments in my life, does somebody have my back? Is somebody there to pick up things when I drop them? Like when I can't carry things anymore, who am I going to trust to pick all of it up and carry it and carry me, right? Like that's kind of this whole metaphorical way of me, or the way that I'm thinking of it now. And it's like, I just haven't had that experience in life yet.
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful that I'm starting to get it. And I'm really grateful that I've met somebody that has, stuck around long enough to hopefully trust me as well to hold that space for her. Because I think I'm not alone here. I think you have this thing too, where you probably haven't had a lot of experience with people having your back.
Yeah.
Or feeling like people have your back. All the people that we felt like were supposed to have our back, we turned around and they weren't there. Yeah. Right? And now it's like I turn around and you're there. Every time I turn around, you're there.
Every time. She's always there.
But that feels so good.
Yeah.
You know, that feels so good.
We were meant to be. We were meant to be. We were meant to be.